Boris's cabinet's folding like he got it from IKEA, Roger.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the big one. This is the felling of the big dog. It had to end sometime, if indeed it's going to end now. It's impossible to say, isn't it, yet, because he is, as you've said, the greased piglet. And it was always going to be messy when it did end. Of course, it's inevitable that that's the case. It's been a fabulous roller coaster ride, and maybe he's been caught fibbing one final time. But this evening, of course, it's been covered by the news already. He released his filmed clip for the 6 p.m. news. It was a mistake, and I apologise. I presume he's got several of these in a cabinet waiting to release at any time. An unusually deflated Prime Minister finally said sorry over his handling of the Chris Pincher scandal. But then his thunder was stolen completely by Rishi Sunak and also, of course, Javid, Sajiv Javid, I do apologise, Sajiv Javid, who stole Rishi Sunak's thunder, actually, by nipping in just ahead of him. And that's left two big vacancies, two big dogs outside of the cabinet. How long can it possibly last? It's impossible to say, isn't it, really?
Well, the thing is, I mean, this story, if this were about any other Prime Minister, all the newspapers would probably be right in saying, well, this is going to be it. But these are different times. This is the Boris Johnson show. I mean, the newspapers are bound to go with, this is the end, but they'll do that every single front page to try and sell more copies. Is this likely to be the end, Josh?
Well, at some point he will run out of people in government, so possibly so. I mean, I don't see how he can really... And I've always seen him as almost invincible, seemingly just from evidence. But I like how the Telegraph has written this. They said he was left staggering about, like, Rocky in his final fight, and then the next sentence is he's on the brink of being booted out. And it's like, mate, don't mix your metaphors here. Like, punched out, whatever, don't do it. But he's now turned to replace now as his who was his chief of staff, but now I believe he's replacing Sunak, is ultra-loyalist Steve Barclay. And I think that's very brave. Going with the whole Northern Irish thing is a good... Did I read that right? Did they mean it if I got the context wrong?
Probably.
It's not an ultra-loyal...
No.
That way. OK, so someone who's loyal.
They found someone who's loyal to Boris Johnson.
I don't really know that much about politics, to be fair.
You're on the right show.
OK, good.
Loads of the cabinet have come out and declared their loyalty, but then, of course, they'll be the ones who are waiting for the stalking horse to do the damage before they run successfully for the leadership.
You know your
of
politics.
You never know quite what the machinations are, do you? No. It's never the one who wields the knife who becomes...
And Liz Truss is very... sort of having these champagnes with Liz or whatever she calls it. She's obviously angling for it. So, yeah.
She's absolutely a front runner. Yes, she's been courting the Tory party for a long, long time, of course. And Boris has only desperately at the last minute started trying to woo his own MPs by touring the tea room earlier today, hilariously. I presume he'll be making another surprise visit to Kyiv over the next 24 hours as well.
Doing another Brexit.
Wow.
You know, I was overhearing someone on the train, because this is what I do when I'm on trains, I'm not to be trusted, and they were saying, is this going to be a general election? Now, this is not the way that it should pan out, but actually, would that be a stroke of genius? If there's one thing Boris seems to be known for, it's winning elections. If the one thing the Conservative Party would like is to win elections, should he just go to the public, get that mandate?
It would be a fabulous way to front down his own party, potentially, because, of course, he's not going to go quietly. All the pundits have said he's not going to go quietly. It was wittily suggested earlier today on the news that if a loyal aide walked in with a bottle of whiskey and a loaded revolver, he would shoot the aide and drink the bottle of whiskey. He might well front down his own party and go to the polls, and of course only then would he perhaps, and even then perhaps not, be removed from number 10.
Yeah, well, essentially Keir Starmer says that he wants election, or he'd be up for it, but I wonder if they really are. I don't think they're really ready yet. He's done a lot of work, but I don't think the Labour Party's there yet, necessarily.
The Labour Party aren't as far ahead as they really should be, given how much chaos has been emanating from number 10, given the chaos that the government is in. It's preposterous, really, that the official opposition isn't many more points ahead in the polls than they actually are.
And I think they wouldn't mind him staying, or someone else coming in who's a bit rubbish, and seeing how that goes before, to get that sort of point lead going on. So,
like Trump, of course, Boris is the ultimate campaigner, so it wouldn't be a bad final throw of the dice. Perhaps that is
how many lies have there been? How could anybody take anything that he says on the campaign trail like it would actually happen?
Yeah, but it'd be fun on this show, wouldn't it?
That'll
Every
be
night
great.
again
Come
to
on,
talk about
Boris,
that.
stick around.
The whole few years have been terrific fun. We'll miss him dearly when he's gone because it's been chaotic and it's been glorious and it's been hilarious. And it's delightful always, even now, to see how apoplectic people who aren't fans of Boris Johnson get at the mere mention of his name. They froth at the mouth and they can't understand why he has stood like a colossus in many ways over politics over the last 2 years, because so few other people, Keir Starmer being an example, has anything like his charisma.
That's what I was going to say, charisma, there it is.
Yeah, in the land of no personality, the man with half a personality is king. Something like that.
Well, he will be for a little while longer. We'll see how long.